Positivity. By nature, it is something that is supposed to be good. But just like anything, too much of anything can ruin everything. For years, especially in the modern age, people have been given positive marks no matter if they fail or not. There is an entire generation of people who have, for the majority of their lives, have been given this false notion that for what they say or what they do has value, right? That they matter and that their presence matters. These these are the kids who have been given an ego boost throughout their entire lives just for trying, just a little bit, just for throwing out a random idea here and there and, given some sort of prize or something for fucking trying, right? Not being good or successful naturally, just for throwing out an idea here and there, putting a little bit of work and somehow, being successful from that, right? But not really truly, getting the number one prize, number 2 or 3. They have just been given a participation ribbon, right? These people are part of the participation ribbon generation. In my eyes, that's what I call them. And honestly, let's be honest here. There are people out there who are afraid to be honest. People who are afraid to go ahead and call people out on their bullshit as to why they failed, why their ideas are shit. These people who, if they were being fucking truthful, could have saved so many others from a big ass headache later down the line. Life is about good, bad, and the ugly, right? The truth can be ugly. It doesn't have to be nice to you. It doesn't have to cater to you. The reason why I am making this video is because of what's going on in the gaming industry. Key point, Concord. People didn't call out shitty ideas and stupid concepts. We got something that looked ugly, didn't play well, and had better alternatives. Toxic positivity creates an environment where critiquing others' ideas and concepts is somehow frowned upon, and being accepting and loving and having all these ideas and so on, just move along, right? No matter how crap or how insane or, just how overall wrong the idea and how the general public might not really fucking like it is, they'll still move it along and put it in the product and so on and so forth, right? Which is just fucking insane, right? As critiquing an idea can refine it, and it can create something more solid, right? Without being able to critique, you won't be able to find the faults in the logic, the faults in the concept and idea. If a cook has, all right, let's get into a whole little situation, right? If a cook has ideas for food and everyone around him created this whole environment and pats him on the back and are there trying out his food and everything, free food by the way, and are just hyping him up with his crazy ass ideas, right? But he decides to go ahead and go public with everything, goes ahead and tries to sell all his crazy food ideas out to the general public, and they hate it. Who is the one where all this flack is going towards? Yes, the cook. And they have to realize that if they're going to sell food or sell their product in the general public, there is the risk that these people will not like it. And you can't be mad at them for going ahead and not liking your product. Because again, you are creating a product, something, especially something like food, right? For the general public to fucking eat. It has to reach a standard. It has to be something good, right? At its core, it has to be good. So if it's not, don't be mad at the people who are saying this shit sucks, because in the end, you are the one that will have this name attached to said product. God damn it, I can't fucking speak. And now that you're getting the flack, don't be mad at the public. Be mad at yourself for going ahead and creating this product. Accept the L and just try to find something better to create and give to the general public. That's just what you fucking do, I guess, right? And still talking about that whole little scenario, right? Where are the jackasses who told him that his food was great and too afraid to tell the truth that his food actually fucking sucks or anything? They're just chilling, doing whatever they want to do, and are happy in their own space, in their own environment, sniffing each other's farts and not caring about what the fuck's going on outside in the real world, but only just enjoying their safety bubble around each other and doing whatever they want. Because in some companies and in some sort of like social circles or whatever the fuck, right, they sort of protect each other, right? That's what they do. And if their ideas aren't getting like the reaction they're getting, they will most likely gaslight and talk shit and do this and that. And unfortunately, go ahead and like cast aside the criticisms and everything and just do what they want no matter what, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of these companies, a lot of these dev teams who are like this, a lot of these spaces that are like this, will just go ahead and just cast aside the criticisms until the people up top actually do something, and that is rare. Look, if everyone is too much of a bitch to receive valid criticism, then they shouldn't be in the creative space. If you can't handle being told your idea doesn't work, fucking sucks, or anything, you are creatively immature. You're like a child who gets upset when they are told no, even worse, because you are getting mad over something that can be worked on potentially if you try hard enough to implement it. And if it's still a no-go, just fucking accept it, right? Just take the L. There's a lot of people in the industry, in many industries, that just can't accept taking no for an answer, or just taking the L and just working on it, going back to the workshop and, doing better. A lot of people would just bitch and moan, which is just astounding to me. You're telling me that I am wrong for not liking your product. Fuck off. Again, accept the loss. Everything doesn't have to always go your way. Every writer has to criticize their own writing and improve at some point in their work. I still do that to this day with my own book. So a big thing, honestly, just take the L, accept criticism, even if it's bad or good, just take it into account and just sort of move on, right? Who knows how many games that could have been better or have been complete, or haven't been complete fucking ass if it didn't suffer through this whole toxic positivity, because people can't take criticism. They can't be responsible. They don't want to be held responsible. And it's just a fucking mess, man. It's gone even to the point where these fuckers are so soft they feel any sort of like coldness or anything as a sort of slight against them, where they would get mad at fucking emails if there aren't any emojis or just whatever, right? It's some shit I heard from a video that's just I don't know if it's true or not, but if it's true, Jesus Christ, what are you, a fucking child that has to be catered to? Damn, man. It kind of reminds me of when everyone found out how when Elon bought Twitter, and how the offices were and how super catered the offices and the schedule was to everybody. I don't think that should work in a workplace. It has to have its own schedule. There has to be a side of professionalism that isn't affected by your personal opinions and how things are. It's work, for fuck's sake, right? You can't just, okay, I'm going on a tangent. Let's move on. Let's move on. It's pathetic. It shows how soft the people who develop this sort of environment are, and the reason why games suffer under their creativity. So, who the fuck would actually work with these sort of conditions, right? These sort of work conditions. Don't think of this as a person who obviously doesn't want to deal with these people, right? Imagine you're in their shoes. The people that thrive in these environments are people that always want to be right. Doesn't want to be held responsible when shit goes south. Always want their ideas included in the property, and always get their personality attached to these projects because they put so much of themselves in there, not their professional self, their personal real selves in the property. Any criticism they see, they feel personally affected by it, because why? Because they put so much of their ideas, their personal afflictions, whatever, right, into the project, just to make it feel more about them, right? And that's just wrong for me, right? Like, who the fuck would do that, right? Of course you would want to put your own personal ideas, your own spin on things and stuff like that, but if you're like getting to the point where you're just getting super mad at people just criticizing your project that, at its core isn't very good, because, you put so much of yourself in here, and, it kind of like muddied the core aspect of the game. It's just weird, man. A lot of these people are just really weird. And the big thing is that they feel so comfortable at work. Like the space caters to them so much that they envelop themselves in each other's farts and this whole safety bubble, and reject anything that doesn't cater to their ideas. And a lot of the time, their ideas are just pretty much just crap that caters towards them and not the general audience of people, or like, the specific audience that the project is, loved by, right? Until, it comes out and they hit the project or the franchise or whatever. it's just a fucking mess, right? It's how I sort of feel with the higher ups as well, with the companies who make dumbass decisions because they aren't just out of touch. They are just repulsed by anything other than their own ideas and their own sort of decisions and everything like that. It's just a clusterfuck, right? Like why like this is why you see developers, creative writers, and more lash out at fans and the fan base at what they're creating content for, because these people believe that their own ideas and creativity are above what actually, the franchise is about, the core ideas of the franchise. And, they think they know better, which is fucking insane to me. Look, being confident in your ideas and creativity is cool, right? That's fine, right? But if what you are making is shit, no one told you that it was shit. Your peers who see nothing wrong with it, who personally like it, in your guys' like little fart bubble, safety bubble, right? Don't see nothing wrong. It's still shit. If like the people who don't want to cause problems and just will pass it along because they don't care, or they don't just want they just don't want no fucking problems, right? They'll just tell you it's cool, right? But it's still shit. You'll find out quickly why you are creating this content, not primarily for yourself, but for the consumers who support it. Because if you fail, which most likely this product will fail, because you cater it to yourself, not for the fans, but for yourself, right? Personally, for yourself and your little friend group too, you'll understand that when it fails, it's going to be on you. Not only do you shoot yourself in the foot, your colleagues are going to get shot in the foot, leadership is going to get fucked over, and not recognizing the problems at hand and the overall damage that it'll cause to the franchise will cause an even bigger problem, because it's like going ahead and looking for the hole in the boat, but you're not recognizing the hole in the boat because you don't want to go ahead and admit there's a hole in the boat because you have so much pride in the goddamn boat. And it's just so fucking dumb. And I'm just getting so fucking mad right now because this happens all the fucking time, where people just don't want to admit that their product is shit, and it sinks the whole fucking franchise, and it pisses me off. And of course, a game could just not be interesting, like no politics, no bullshit or anything. It just could not be interesting, and people just are not vibing with it, which is fair, right? But when has this really happened naturally, right? When was the last time this happened? I don't know when's the last time it happened. I think it mainly happens to like indie games and maybe like AA games that people just aren't vibing with, right? And it's almost like there are valid and invalid reasons to like something or not, right? There are, however, it's just entirely crazy that we can't just call some shit out and just say how stupid a certain game's concept is, or what's going on with it, and like what's going on, especially with Ubisoft, right? Like a big example is fucking Ubisoft right now, right? With Assassin's Creed Shadows, because it's just it boggles the fucking mind when they just went ahead and just put Japanese hip hop music for Yasuke's little character entry, and it's fucking crazy, right? Like there are valid reasons to be upset over this. There are valid reasons to be upset over the bullshit when it comes to this game, right? There are also invalid reasons, like people getting mad that one of the main characters is African, right? Which if they did it in a different way, it could work, right? But they just wanted a black dude as a playable character, which is it's fine, like I fuck with Yasuke, right? I love the character, I love the story behind him and everything like that, right? But I feel like they should have just gone ahead and just had like the two characters who are unique to this story, and have Yasuke be like a potential like DLC character that you can play potentially, right? Just like how in, I don't remember if it's Unity, no, it was Syndicate. It was Syndicate where you can play as Jack the Ripper, I'm pretty sure, right? Like something like that, right? Or like Freedom Cry where you play as Adewale. But I think people will just notice that they made another DLC where you can play a black guy and call that out. So there's always wins and loses to certain situations. But back to the main topic at hand, just a lot of games will go ahead and have valid and and invalid reasons as to why, they are, criticized or not. But at the end of the day, if the product is crap, right? If the main audience doesn't enjoy it, then it's over. It's a failure. Like there's nothing you can really do about it. The whole gaslight the internet that the outrage is from a small minority never really works, because no matter how big or small it is, if no one is buying your fucking game or watching it or playing your shit or whatever, right, your numbers will still be fucking zero. Understand? Like, let's look at this from the perspective of someone who would like to use this environment to destroy the game, because, they're a fucking asshole, right? And they introduce ideas that they know wouldn't fucking work, right? Wouldn't be liked, but wouldn't be pushed back either, because it sticks, right? Like they focus on a certain group that, has the power in the dev team or whatever, right? Who he caters these ideas to, but they're sort of wrong, but because they connect with this certain group's sort of ideals and, concepts and stuff, they won't really say anything. And everybody else don't want no fucking problems, so they don't say anything. And, it goes ahead and helps develop the game or product or whatever, right? Does that seem right to you? Does that sound right to you? Like that shit could be catastrophic for many people, right? And this environment itself can just be an entirely just feeding ground for bad ideas, right? Because no one is critiquing anything. No one is doing anything to fucking actually refine the product, because everyone is just throwing together ideas that would be cool, that could be cool, right? But cool to them, right? Like, what if we do this? What if we do that? But at the end of the day, if they aren't tailoring this sort of project or product, right? Excuse me, to the fans, and it doesn't make no money, it is on fucking them, right? They'll get laid off or some shit, right? So at the end of the day, if the product isn't successful, if these participation ribbon people aren't going ahead and making the product successful and profitable, they're out the door, and they'll get a rude awakening that whatever they say just doesn't get the full marks, successful, whatever, right? And I feel like a lot of people have yet to get hit with this, right? But with so many, with the gaming industry nowadays, who knows, man? Because they either get covered up by the goddamn dev team and, the company themselves just going ahead and just absorbing the loss. And it's just, it's a mess, man. Like, honestly, I think Apprentice probably said that so many times in this video, but it's a goddamn mess. Let's look at this at the perspective of a competitor seeing a company who, for example, let's say Ubisoft, who has this environment. What would the competitor think? They see this company games failing, and they understand that they have a toxic positive environment that makes game development more of a passion project for the dev team, who will go ahead and cater the project to themselves than to the general public, and make it into a sort of like personal project or craft, right? What I would like to think that these companies, when they see this shit, would try to do the fucking opposite. But there are different factors at play when it comes to toxic positivity, right? For example, toxic people, understandable. Adult babies that can't take criticism and responsibility, which is a big fucking thing. A variety of activism too, or activists who will go ahead and can't seem to stop that itch from going ahead and putting everything that they believe in their projects and stuff in some way, shape, or form. And there are so many problems under the surface that can cause issues. And the one big thing that can just make this all go away is just people just taking accountability, and just people going ahead and just, being honest with people. For fuck's sake, be honest, and just be like, these ideas are crap. This is bad. No one in the actual community of the gamers or whatever that enjoy this product will like this. If people were just fucking honest, for fuck's sake, then all this would just go away. Will it make all the problems magically disappear? No, it won't, but there will be a gradual decline in all these problems, right? And cutting away the cancer from, the creative development teams would be great, right? It would do a massive service to the whole projects and future projects in the future, right? And let me just say this, making the project about you, injecting parts of you into the project, being too attached to said project, and overall trying to form the project around you and your friends and your views and ideas or whatever is the fucking problem. With a toxic positive environment, this attitude and the idea is flourishing because now everyone is doing it, everyone is doing whatever they want, and whoever isn't is thrown to the side. Whoever doesn't care stays in their corner and just, sort of just sits there, right? It creates this bubble. It creates this environment that is not good for creativity, because if everyone is on the same length, at the same wavelength, and no one's trying to challenge ideas and be responsible when things doesn't work out, then nothing will work out. Everything will be shit, and no one will really want to go ahead and, create something more, or like get out of their, their sort of safety bubble, because they don't want to. They want to go ahead and make sure that everything's fine for them, that everything works for them, and everything caters to them, which is a big fucking problem, right? And what does leadership do? They foster this environment. They didn't do really anything to steer anywhere where the project is. The people who are, toxic, soft, awkward, emotional, and above all else will feel out the place, and they will know when they feel uncomfortable, right? Because leadership will go ahead and cater to these people, right? They will go ahead and just not only just alienate the people who actually want to create stuff and critique and actually do something interesting and do so much fun stuff, right? They not only will they alienate them and send them to other departments, or they quit or whatever, they will create this safe space for these fucking weird and crazy people to develop and foster more and more, and just get even higher in the company as well, and just make everything so much more worse. And unfortunately, that's just how it is right now, right? These people gain more power. Their mentality will get other like-minded people to join them, and then they'll go ahead and push the rejects out to purify their environment that they want to create. And it's crazy, man. Like acceptance of an idea is fine and all in phase 1, right, of development. Then as the concept forms and the ideas wither, get thrown out, and the product gets refined and turned into the product envisioned, more or less, right? Throwing ideas like at phase 5 or 4 doesn't fucking work, right? Especially if they're not refined at all, right? It looks like these fuckers would just throw whatever ideas in the mix and expand upon them, maybe later, and worry about how they can work together and, create this sort of like message or overall idea, or just something to cater to them, or like the specific group they are from. It's just fucking dumb, man. It's insane to me. The modern age has softened many people, but to be fair, has hardened people as well. Both aspects done in different ways due to the changing times compared to back in the day, of course, right? Like, you can't really compare the hardships of, like 60 years ago to now, right? It's an entirely different beast right now. However, with the modern day acceptance of multiple different things and people in general, and becoming more entitled and selfish, especially in first world countries, like sex, murder, theft, mortal sins of old, the modern day mortal sins, I feel, just ruin everything that was genuinely built with care and love. Toxic positivity coupled with the worst traits people can have in the workplace can really ruin the space and the company, but most importantly, the product. That's why it's called toxic positivity, right? Because it's not benefiting no one. And with that being said, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on toxic positivity in the workplace? What's it doing for gaming and overall just whatever space you're in, if you in whatever sort of industry is out there, right? And what can we do to curb this shit? Honestly, just call the shit out. Like I said before, call out bad ideas, call out the softness, call out the dumb shit, and maybe that'll help. I'm pretty sure cutting the cancer away from, the workplace, will help a lot, right? So thanks for the support. Stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys later. And just thank you so much for following the video, following the channel, and, doing all the good stuff, and, helping me with this channel and making it feel so much more better and great to go ahead and make videos for everybody. Thank you so much for the support. And again, see you guys later.